Hello and welcome to week 2 video critiques. How you doing? This time around we're going to be looking at some toning, right? You guys reproduced some toning effects from the darkroom in your images, and we are going to look at them. All right. So just going to jump right into it. All right. So first we're looking at Melissa's work. That's kind of cool. So, sorry, I'm on month 11 of my perpetual cold, so I'll probably be coughing a lot. I don't know. And any given year, I seem to have about 11 months of coughing. Even though this is only February, somehow I'm going into month 11 of this year. I don't know. Anyway, don't think about it too much. It doesn't make any sense. All right. Once again, as with last time, she's working with some of the same elements, but I liked it last time. I like it this time too. So yeah, it's really clean. I don't know why that was the first thing I mentioned. I guess just because I've been looking at some other images. But yeah, really simple, really clean. I like that. I like a lot of the elements you've used here. The graphic elements here, the patterns here. Feels like a well set up scene. I don't know what happened here. Looks like maybe your strobe didn't pop when you shot this one. Maybe just work lights. Either that or it's just a little bit underexposed. No, that's got to be underexposed because your work lights wouldn't look like that. They wouldn't give that even of a light. Yeah. Okay. As I mentioned, a lot of people just have like tungsten bulbs in their work lights. No, I shouldn't say that. Some people have like full spectrum. Sorry, ignore me. I'm apparently just talking to myself out loud. But yeah, like you're working the scene really well. Although they got a little bit too tight a crop there. See, it's better here where you get that just the edge there. I'm liking this. You're kind of coming in here, and it's getting just a little bit dark in some of these. But I feel like overall working pretty good. I also like this setup actually. It's even more simple, but I feel like it's effective. Although I feel like I want to see a little bit more going up here. See what happened there. Again, I like this setup a lot. The light is just kind of. Anyway, okay, yeah. See that. I thought this was coming because I looked at these earlier. Yeah, I like this combination of elements quite a bit. So yeah, you just have to be careful. So this looks more like if your strobes didn't flash and you just had your work light going. This I also like, but getting this like crop there. That's sort of the way that I tend to do these is go through the contact sheets fairly quickly and spend a little bit more time talking about the effect that you did, the tinting. So first off, good choice. I like this image quite a bit. And the black and white. I'm going to zoom out just one click here because I want to be able to see the whole image. I like a lot of what's happening here, but I feel like you made it a little bit too contrasty. Let me just pop up here for a minute. So in this you can see some of the texture of the wood grain, all that in these areas. And here it just is getting a little bit lost. I think though, there's some nice areas like this is really nice. This is really nice. This is the sort of thing where if you kept it exactly like this, but went back in and brought some of this back, like brought down the, or I should say brought up the exposure here, and here and here. So you just brought a little bit of that back. You could really sort of make something cool, because like this is great, this is all great. There are just a few areas where your contrast is just a little too much for this. Alright, moving on down here to the next one. So I'm going to go just another click or two here. So I'm going to go see the whole thing. The next one. What was that? Oh, what am I doing here? Oh, okay, I get you. Alright. There we go. Okay, so, yep. This is, again, I just feel like it needs to be opened up here just a tad. But let's see how the tinted version of this looks. Sepia. This actually, I think this image is improved a lot by sepia toning. It really brings to the forefront things like this. So we're removing all the colors, which, you know, in their own right serve to do a thing with the image. We're eliminating that, and what it really focuses you in on is shape, is gradation of tones and light, and it really, I think this is a thing that really gets accentuated, which I like, because one of the first places my eye goes is here, and it's sort of, I'm looking here, I'm kind of going here, 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 and then this thing sort of leads my eye down, and now I'm looking down here, whereas I wouldn't necessarily be as naturally, my eye wouldn't be as naturally drawn to this area. Yeah, big improvement. Also getting a little bit of the accentuation of the texture here, and I think your textures are one of the more interesting things about this image, about a lot of your images. So you really, just like on the last one where you kind of, it went dark and you were losing some of that texture, like that's one of the reasons that you don't want to do that. You want to keep that texture. It's one of the most interesting things going on in these. Okay, so, and again, like little details like this I like, when this bows up and that bows down, like the unevenness of it, I find just, you know, it draws my eye. Let's see what you did for this cyanotype. I like it. I feel like one of the first places my eye goes is right here, whereas in this image it tends to go more into these more brightly colored areas, or, you know, again, to these irregularities here. I like that because I like what the light is doing here, and when my eye is drawn there, I mean, it's really interesting to see like how much it changes the way you look at these images, sort of how you interact with them. I like that. Okay. This is definitely a little dark, but again, I've been talking a lot about textures. This is like all texture. You have this sort of rough fabric here. You have this. You have just all these different like little. It's almost like a little threadbare there. So I'm curious to see what you did with this one. Selenium. Yeah. Yep. I still feel like this could be brought up overall, or maybe even, yeah, just overall. Just wants to be a little lighter. And then I think this is your last pair. So we have this and split toned. I would say, I don't know about this one. I feel like, I don't know if I feel like it looks like sepia mixed with like a kind of green tone. I don't know if those quite work together. Which, I feel like I like that image, but I'm just not sure if that's the tone to go with that image. Excuse me. Alright, so up next we have, I think, Cassie? Let me see. Alright, Cassie, yes. And these were a little bit on the small side. I think I tried zooming in, but yeah, there's really not a ton of detail, so we won't spend, obviously, hardly any time at all looking at these, other than to say, I like what's going on here. A couple of them are kind of dark, I'm gonna let's get down here and sort of. Oh yeah, this is one of my favorite ones. But again, it's real dark there. All right, so let's take a look at. That's funny, like how blue some of these are before even any effect is applied to them. All right, so. Or maybe were you doing, maybe like a little bit of a, like putting a tungsten white balance on those? Alright, well anyway, let's see. Alright, now I thought that this turned out really cool. I like the shallow depth of field here, I like the perspective, I like enjoy these, like this detail, like the edges being real rough, these icicles hanging down, the snow. Overall, I thought that was really cool. And, alright, black and white. That's funny. Is it, oh, that's funny. I was looking at this the whole time. I thought, I didn't even realize that this was the black and white version. Because everything in this image is, like, practically monochromatic. This didn't even register in my brain as black and white, but that's I was about to say, let's see what this looks like as a, with the effect applied to it. Like that. Well, yeah, let's see. In the, sorry to do this to you guys, I'm just gonna jump back up here for a second, because in the image I think it's actually a lot more, oh yeah, see there's a lot more brown and stuff in it. You can see it right there. Cool. Well yeah, I think that is an excellent use of that effect. And, sorry, I'm going to scroll down here. Let's see what we got next. Okay. Oops. I think I went too far. Is it this one? Okay. This is what? Selenium? Sepia. Oh, that's a real subtle use of sepia. I guess I am seeing it, though, like right in here. Part of it, too, is just the amount of white in this image. I like this one, too. I like this, the skeletal branches, the way that these lines are being broken up by the snow-covered branches. The non-snow-covered ones are being, essentially those lines are being broken up a lot. I like that. My only thing I would say here is maybe shallower depth of field. Like if this element, and this element were the only thing in focus, and these like fell off, because like you can even see down to whatever this road sign is. If it fell off, like starting here, just like total blurry. So you got this idea of this without it being as sharply in focus. I think that would really work well. But again, I'm being kind of picky because I really like what's happening in this image. Really nice use of lines. We have, I'm guessing, cyanotype? Hey, cyanotype. I think the thing I like the most about this image is the texture. This sort of roughness here. I do like some of this, but I feel like you did it better in the last one. And again, this is another one, like, if you look down here, there's still a lot in focus. I think this could definitely benefit from shallower depth of field as well. Ooh. Oops. Alright, let me just, I like this a lot too. What the heck? Sorry guys. Okay, that is selenium. Yeah, I really like that. That's very cool. Yeah, a mix of tones, a mix of the more geometric shapes with the more natural shapes. Very cool. Sort of a broken pattern. I like it. I like it. That's too dark. This is your split toning. This is. I feel like there's something there, but this image is just really dark. And it may be that the exposure is dark because of some of this and some of this stuff. This would be a very easy image to underexpose because of some a lot of sort of range in tones, like fairly bright to fairly dark. Snow and like open bright skies are always tough. Yeah, I think you could definitely open these dark areas up a lot, like 30-40%. You know, you're talking. I think really the whole image could be opened up like a stop, maybe a stop and a half. I feel like maybe not stop at half, because I feel like part of what's going on here is like you're sort of going for some of this look, but it's some of the darkness, creepiness, but it's just a little too dark. Um, and then okay, that's the whole thing. Okay, I couldn't remember. So yeah, I think some of your most successful ones here are ones where you use simple elements like the mailbox, like the bricks in the snow, and like some of the branches with the snow covering them. It's nice work, Cassie. Up next, we have Ashley, I believe. Yep. All right. Yeah, I really liked a lot of what you did here. Really nice use of color. Like a lot of these, obviously have some. It looks like they have some of the ones in them, like the toned versions in there. Lots of nice use of color. Lots of like this is really nice. Lots of nice use of texture. Shallow depth of field. These are all things that I happen to like a lot. Simple composition. Really nice. There's a ton of like, I love that roughness there. This sort of thing. You have a lot of great details in your work, Ashley. Excuse me. And like something like that's nice. Oh, that's really cool. Again, really nice filling the screen here. Filling the frame. The fairly monochromatic with the one bright element, and it's right compositionally where it should be. So you got a ton of nice stuff. I only went over images briefly before looking at this, so I'm kind of excited to see what you did with them. I guess if I recall correctly, they're at the top. So okay, yeah, it looks like you did include some of the tone versions there. That's totally fine with me. Alright, so you black and white. Very lovely. This is nice. You have some really cool framing devices here. And again, this is a great example of where the image fits really well with the effect that's being applied to it. I'm reminded here of some of the great black and white photographers. I'm thinking, maybe just because of the device of the framing window, I'm thinking of like Robert Frank from The Americans. He has a shot from New Orleans where it's like the side of a streetcar, and all these people's faces being framed by windows. But yeah, really nice lighting. Like that's beautiful. A lot of these details are super nice. Great texture. So yeah, really using that black and white in a smart way. I like that quite a bit. Yeah, black and white, okay. And then sepia, again, as previously mentioned, I am kind of a sucker for visually simple images, some shallow depth of field, and texture. And look at what this has, all three of those. Either our tastes align very well, or you are just smart enough to make images that you figured out the teacher likes. Well, this is pretty early in the semester for that, so. But yeah, I really like that. Again, this cuts across right where you want it to, right at the that sort of imaginary rule of thirds line. It's like right there. You have this cool shape, right? That's sort of making this really interesting triangle here. Lots of texture, lots of these different gradations of light. Very, very excellent work, Ashley. And sort of some of the same things go on here, although the toning is, you definitely get quite a different look here with the purple as opposed to sepia. Yeah, sepia. Let's go ahead and just zoom back in a little bit so we can see some of this detail. But again, get some nice shallow depth of field and some of these, just sort of visually like fun things. Like your eye sort of follows this kind of loopy thing, and it's making some of these fun shapes. And I don't know, like I feel like you made this image in a like with a thought towards how it would look as a finished image. You sort of have, again, if you can imagine those rule of thirds lines, you got one coming down here where that's dropping down, you got one coming down here, cutting across here. So like your elements are, well, they're not like exactly perfectly lining up to those sort of imaginary lines that we use when composing. There's like a thrust, there's this directional movement here, there's this directional movement here and here. So it is sort of kind of alluding to them without necessarily like staying super locked into that formula. Oops, I feel like I skipped one. Yeah, okay. What I like about this is, I'm going to go ahead and zoom back in here a little bit. Again, texture, sort of nice texture here. All this is great. And sort of like this thing, like this kind of line that comes in through here, and it starts to go down, but, and again, imagine the rule of thirds lines, but rather than just slipping down, like it kind of transforms into this, so it's like the line continues even as the ground drops away. Yeah, again, really well composed, really well exposed, very nice. This one I found really interesting just because of the, sorry, I'm going to do it, just because of that, the shape, like this kind of bizarre thing, again, rule of thirds, right? Imagine here, lots of nice texture, and there's just some really interesting stuff going on there. Excellent. Outstanding work, Ashley, once again. And then last but not least, DJ. Looking at DJ's work always makes me want to go to Hawaii. You definitely kind of capture, sort of that longing to be in paradise. He captured some really cool stuff in here. Again, beyond just like a great moment between a dad and his son, some really nice texture here. This is really cool. And it's sort of like, I love the way that like the light is shining and it's like brighter here, right? Because you can see the sun it's not straight overhead, it's definitely more of like a 4:30, 5 o'clock, lower in the sky. So his head is definitely, it's like more exposure here, and it sort of gets darker here to make this really nice clean line. And then I just love the way that this is contrasted against the background there. Makes a really nice visual element. As I'm looking at this, I do kind of just want to crop in from the top a hair. If you like, feel free to do this, like what I'm doing right now. I'm just taking like a piece of paper and I'm moving it in from the top, covering the top, like basically just making a crop on the screen. And I feel like, I do like that ocean, but I feel like if you crop in from the top a little bit, it sort of falls more into that rule of thirds. And, so it's just like a slight tweak where you just crop it pretty much down to like right here. And then it, well, maybe I can sort of, I wonder if I can like, maybe I can see. So if you can imagine, look at that. So if you can imagine, okay, that the area inside of that is gone. So ignore this area and see what happens to the composition here, where it's like his eye line is just a little bit closer to that rule of thirds. This sort of, essentially we've moved these two up in the frame. I don't know. I think that's a really small thing. Like, that's something, that you can go into Photoshop, 2 seconds, bam, it's done. Just a little thing. Next up we have, I'm guessing maybe some cyanotype? I'm seeing some blue here. I think this is a great moment. Again, sorry, I don't want to harp on this, but maybe, right? Ignore this part and just look here. could maybe even come in like down here a little bit too. I feel like this is just a little bit tighter than, like the actual image itself is a little tighter than how he made it here. But great moment. The little details, like the little bit of drool there, and just a genuine, like the genuine happiness on his face is really cool. Didn't turn this black and white first, so again, I'm going back to sort of the things, like I would have liked to see this, like sort of straight up real thing, but that's okay. Again, nice. Really like this lens flare, really effectively done. Great moment. I love some of these details, like his tattoos. I feel like, I don't know, I don't want to drive everyone crazy. I feel like this is the image. Or, you take the whole thing, like maybe there's a little bit more over here to be had, so it's like you see a little more here, see a little more here, if it's going to be a horizontal. Otherwise, this almost feels more like a vertical image, because a lot of the thrust of the image is vertical. But there's some cool things going on here. Look at this sort of pyramidal, this sort of triangular composition here. It's really nice, and then have some of these elements, and then just his face, like great expression. Something about this like curl of teeth, I don't know, it just keeps catching my eyes. Again, consistently nice moments throughout. This is nice. This is an image where he's got a little bit more room above his head, but you have this element coming in, sort of is adding something to it. Yeah, I think I would have liked to seen a couple of these, like where you turned it black and white first and then applied the effect. So I think something like this would have looked really cool, or one of those two. Like this, I think could have been really an interesting way to do it on. Although I do kind of like the way this sort of tinting happened. I think that is really cool. So we're not going to go too much into these, because I did look at these earlier, and I felt like your choices were pretty good. There were a couple in here where you could have swapped out, just because there's like some kind of nice moments in here. But his one is definitely one that I think succeeds to a large part based on, sort of simple framing things, or not framing things, simple background, and like even something like this, where it's like it sort of has this feeling like being layered. So simple background, overall pretty good use of light, and then just the thing that I think that, as I was saying, makes it succeed is just the sort of genuine warmth and affection that you get from the interaction between these two. All right, so that is the video for this week, or this is the first one. I'll probably do the next assignment too. So the secret word that lets me know that you watched the entire video this time around is tennis. Why? Who knows? I don't know. Just a word that popped into my head. So go ahead and again post that. Everyone did it right last time. They posted it below the link as opposed to posting it in YouTube, which I've had sort of an issue with people doing in the past, and then I don't always see it. But yeah, everyone's doing it right. Simply post it, use it in a sentence. I always enjoy reading the sentences that you guys come up with. But great job, and I will see you guys next week.